Good morning. Monday morning. Gotta love Monday morning. Hope everybody had a great weekend on these chilly last couple days here in Wisconsin. I know around the country everybody's having unseasonably cold weather. It was 30 degrees last night here on the farm, and that's cold. I don't
Cold weather.
I don't know what.
Farm, and that's
Hang on a second. Sorry about that. There we go. I don't like the cold weather anymore this year. I'm ready for it to go away, and I hope it does go away. It looks like our weather's going to get much better here in the next few days. We planted all weekend, so we're getting seedlings ready to get in the ground. We need some warm weather. As always, thank you for joining the show. If you're new, please subscribe. If you're here again, thank you for joining me. Please share my channel with your friends. Ask them to tune in, subscribe. Please like the video. Always, click down there and like it. It helps me out. Please comment. Comments help me a great deal. Again, in terms of getting my videos up on the search engines. So please do that. Please call in 715-352-0801. Would love to hear from you and talk to you about any issues you may find important. And today I am totally in disbelief again with what's going on with our politicians. They're at it again. So Governor Evers issues a stay-at-home order. And that stay-at-home order basically says stay at home. So we're supposed to stay at home. And then he listed certain different areas that are essential. But essential areas doesn't mean that the entire public can leave home because it's essential. So we can't go to work. We can't go to church. We can't assemble at a rally. And people are getting arrested for attending rallies and doing things that are inconsistent with the stay-at-home order. Businesses are closing. People are losing their jobs. But politicians need their signatures. Politicians need their signatures. So what happens? The Wisconsin Elections Commission puts out a statement on April, I believe, 13th or 14th, because I had actually questioned the Wisconsin Elections Commission on how we were going to collect signatures in the face of the stay-at-home order. I had also recommended that they just waive the signature requirement and solve the whole problem, and people can just simply file their nomination, and then the voters can decide at the primaries who they want to run for the general election. So they met on a Friday the following week. They issued a statement on Monday and basically said they can't change the signature requirement. Only the legislature can. The legislature could have issued an emergency bill, negated signatures, all done. Full compliance with the stay-at-home order. No problems, no harm, no foul. They've never done it. Now they're experiencing the fact that the other part of that statement said that people need to comply with the stay-at-home order, and we need to do this by mail. We need to do this by email. We need to do this by, like I'm doing on my show, where I'm asking you in virtual environments to download my signature page, sign the signature page, and mail it to me. Nothing in that statement said that this process was an essential function. Therefore, if somebody wants to go to a meeting or a town hall or go physically be in the presence of a politician or a candidate, that was acceptable. So over the past couple of weeks, I'm sure that these politicians have come to realize that they are not going to be able to get their signatures, or that they're in trouble. So what do? So Tricia Zunker, in her infinite wisdom, indicates that she's in full compliance, full support of the stay-at-home order, and that she feels that this is an important issue and people should stay home. But here's her meeting agenda with a number of other politicians from now until the end of the month when the signatures are due. This is an example of functions that are being held around the district and probably around the state for other candidates as well, where they're going to let you leave your home, even though they're not allowed to tell you that. And they're going to encourage you to leave your home and come and drive through and have contact with people in multiple pages because there are multiple candidates and you're supposed to go to these locations and sign candidates' nomination papers. What the hell? Tricia Zunker's there telling everybody, you need to stay home, you need to be safe, but hey, I need your signature, so come on out, drive on up and sign my papers. But you can't go to church, you can't go to your job, you lost your job. Oh, sorry, we're not going to do anything about unemployment, but please come out, take the risk, and sign my papers. Now, it's not limited to Tricia Zunker. The Republicans, in their infinite wisdom, meaning Tom Tiffany in District 7, also have been sending out, and this is an example, Marathon County Republicans, which I'm a member of, sent out an email saying the same thing, big and bold. Drive-through circulation of nomination papers. Excuse me? This group, or nothing from the GOP, has come out in relationship to the violations by saying you can't go to church, by saying you can't assemble, but they need signatures. So they're going to go ahead and say, we are going to make the decision that this is an essential function, so therefore you need to come and sign our papers. But don't go to your job, don't go to your business. Make sure you don't violate that because then you're going to get arrested. So people are getting arrested, people are getting fined, but we need signatures, so that's okay. Is anybody perplexed by this? Everybody's okay with that? I mean, it's a double standard. I mean, if it is okay, then it is okay, meaning everything else is okay. Businesses should open up. They should be able to function in whatever way they decide. That people shouldn't need to be wearing masks, and on and on and on. But again, it's another example of the abuse of power, and whenever it suits them, whether they need a haircut, if you've seen that in the news, or whether they need to go to their construction site, the politicians who are telling you got to stay home are violating those orders left and right. And that's okay. So in Wisconsin, District 7, which is my home base, I challenge you to really think about the power of your vote. I challenge you to think about the fact that it's time for a tea party. It's time to dump some tea in the bay. It's time to exercise the power of your vote and send a clear message to politicians and people running for office who speak a dual message, are fine with businesses closing, are fine with slow implementation, are fine with slow opening, are all in support of whatever's happening with relationship to COVID-19. But when they need something, then they want it to happen. So it's okay to violate our constitutional rights, but they need signatures, so therefore, hey, get out there and do it. That's a clear message, people, and you need to wake up if you haven't woken up to what you can expect from a candidate like that. I have been talking about this since it started. I have issued proposed bills and mailed them to our legislature. I have made it very vocal about my position on the violation of the Constitution. I mean, the number one thing that should be happening is no decision should be made without a determination that it doesn't violate our constitutional rights. That's not happening. And Tiffany, as an example, and Zunker have done nothing to introduce any bills to the legislature to put in front of the governor that says you got to stop making decisions without applying the rule of law, meaning the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, period. So, on that note, again, I'm running for the U.S. House of Representatives in Wisconsin's District 7, and I'm asking you to help me by writing me in tomorrow. And my Facebook page and my website have all indicated that I'm running as a write-in candidate. I'm an official write-in candidate. And, I'm an option. If you want to send a message, don't vote for Zunker. Don't vote for Tiffany. Vote for me. Watch the videos on my channel. Well, go to my website at trailblazer19.com and also help me out get on the ballot for the general election. Download my nomination papers. I mean, at minimum, you should consider downloading my nomination papers so we can have this argument through the general election. I'm asking you to consider that. And I'm Michael Opela, and I approve this message. And it's paid for by Trailblazers for Michael Opela Committee. All right, so moving on. Coronavirus update. So again, the death toll keeps climbing, and we keep using Johns Hopkins data, not the CDC. Still perplexes me. You still need to take a look at the fact that they've included probable cases, which could be including influenza cases. How many influenza cases are in there? And as an example, we've got to address the fact that the state death tolls and these regional areas that are literally having no cases. Because having one case in a county the size of Marathon County really is not having any cases. It needs to be addressed, and we need to move forward. And we've got to figure out a way to understand that the people at high risk need to take the precautions, and the people who are not need to go on with their lives. And we don't need a bunch of contact tracing. We don't need a bunch of social tracking. And we surely don't need people abusing their access to information. If you're not concerned about the use of cell phone data, then you're out of your mind. Because I don't think I have approved the use of my cell phone data for anybody to be using to track me during COVID-19. You should be deathly afraid of that. Johns Hopkins is already putting a course together to train people to be contact tracers. They're talking about hiring 100,000 contact tracers around the country to track people who get COVID-19. And if you're asymptomatic and you still have COVID-19, what are you going to do? You don't get to go to work. You don't get to go to the store. They're going to put you in your house for 14 days. And we don't even know that 14 days is enough. 14 days is about showing symptoms. We don't know how long if you have COVID-19, that you are able to transmit the disease to someone else, that you're infectious. That could be a month. You need to let your voice be heard, because it's going to come back to haunt you. I mean, the big stories in the last couple of days have been Michael Flynn, and we should all take a page from what happened to him. We should all take a page from a man who's given his life to this country and what they did to him in the interest of government and politics. And now, after applying the rule of law, he's free because of the things they did and the abuses. And you need to take a message from what happened during 9/11 and when the Homeland Security Act came out, and all of the problems we had and we've continued to have as a result of having the Homeland Security freedoms to invade our privacy on a whim. It's real, it's scary, and it needs to be stopped. And we need to stop making the same mistakes we've made with Flynn and with what happened during the 9/11 catastrophe. So please consider what you're doing tomorrow at the May 12th special election for the U.S. House of Representatives seat. It's an important vote, and you need to send a message, because the two people who are currently running are not going to defend your constitutional rights. They're letting it happen as we speak. So is it just me? I mean, am I the only one seeing this? I don't think so. I mean, when I post to my Facebook page for the campaign and I bring issues like this up and politicians are making excuses, people come to the charge and say, wait a minute, they said that these rallies were unconstitutional. I'm sorry, that they were against the stay-at-home order. So you don't get one and then have the other. So, food for thought. Do we need another tea party? Is it time to dump some tea in the bay? I say yes. In my opinion, this is only getting worse. And the governments will hold us hostage until we give in to simply throwing away the Constitution and doing whatever they say when they say it. And that scares the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me for me. It scares the hell out of me for my family and for the families to come. And I say hell no. And I'll say hell no till I die. And on that note, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.